Welcome to Yoga for You. With your host, Ana del Rosal, certified yoga teacher. Yoga is not a substitute for medical attention, examination, diagnosis, or treatment. Please check with your doctor before beginning any exercise regimen, especially if you recently had surgery, are pregnant, or postnatal. If at any moment something doesn't feel right, please stop. It's important to listen to your body. I will provide detailed instruction as you move in and out of poses to ensure your safety. If you have any questions, contact your local yoga teacher or studio. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed day. Welcome to Yoga for You with Ana. So today's is one of those short, sweet, and 15 minutes. We'll be focusing on twists. So the main area of our spine that twists is the thoracic vertebrae, not through the pelvis. We can twist through our pelvis, but we really want to focus on that movement through the vertebrae. And the thoracic ones are the ones that where the rib cage attached to. So to start, find a comfortable seat. You can be cross-legged if you're at home and you prefer. If this is too hard, feel free to sit up on something. Sit up nice and tall, arms shoulder height. You're going to draw your belly in, and as you twist, I want you to think of twisting around your belly button so that your belly button stays forward, but you're just moving everything from above that. So you can inhale to one side, exhale to the other, and just twist. So you may start off slow, and we'll go for about a minute. And just notice, being aware of one side might be a little tighter than the other. And I don't want you to fling your arms here. Your arms are moving because you're moving your torso. And then maybe speeding it up. And again, keep your abdominals engaged. And you're trying to keep everything from your waist down stable. And let's just do 3 more to each side. And just 1 more. Good. And then come back through center. An easy forward fold here. So just walk your hands forward. If you're hanging out on a chair, just hang over your legs. Drop your head. And sort of push the floor away so you haven't completely come off of your hips. So this was allowing us to stretch through the hips. And you may notice one side is more, is a little tight or not, just being aware. And 1 more breath here. And then come back through center and switch which leg is in front. So if you're back on the chair, you can see if you're on the chair, feel free to stay there. First, we'll do a side stretch. So you're going to bring your left hand or right hand to the side body, to this floor. And then you may bend the elbow if it's available to you. And then take the other arm overhead, if that's available to you, behind your head or to your low back. And here, I want you to make sure that you're not turning your torso towards the floor, but you're coming into more of a side bend. And I'm leaning to my right, so I'm really pressing down to the left hip. So if you're leaning, you want to press into the hip that you're leaning away from. And then inhale, come up, and we'll switch sides. So the hand comes down, and you lean over. So same options with the arms overhead, behind the head, or behind your back. And make sure that you're not rotating your chest towards the floor, but you're opening up. And press down to the hip that you're moving away from. And just another full breath here. And then inhale, come up. And come onto your hands and knees, please. So, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And we're going to thread the needle. So, take your right arm up. You lift that arm into the air, and you're going to slide that right hand between your left wrist, left knee, and drop onto the side of your shoulder, or your side of your face. You may stay here, or you can take the left arm up and place it back behind you. And you're just using that to help open up through the chest. And just breathe. So make sure here that you're not sticking your hips out to one side, but that they're in line with the shoulders. One more breath. Good. And then take that left hand down. If you brought it up, press into the hand, come up through center. Just one round of cat-cow. Lift your heart and your tailbone, and then exhale, push the floor weight round your back. Drop your chin. Inhale, come through center. So now the opposite side, that left arm comes up, or whichever opposite side. If you did the left arm first, do the right side now. Then you slide the hand through the opposite wrist and knee. So you may stay there just resting on the back of the shoulder and the side of the head, or you can take the right arm up and wrap it behind your back. And you're using this arm to help you get a little bit more through the twist, opening up through the chest. Take 2 more breaths. Good, and then hand down, come back. Cat-cow, just one round. Lift your heart and tailbone. Goes down, and then come into neutral. So let's do a low lunge twist. I'm going to step the right foot forward between my hands. And you can take that foot out a little bit. You can turn it out. Sometimes it's nice to turn it out. It gets a little bit more in that inner thigh. And you want to make sure that you're in a lunge position. So keep the left hand down. You're going to slide this left shoulder blade down the back so that as you rotate, you create more length through your chest. And then the head softens back. So see what happens when my shoulder comes up towards my ear. I start scrunching in the shoulders. It's that shoulder slides down, and it helps give more lift up through the spine. And breathe here. And you can really just open up, lean that right hand back so you get a nice stretch through the chest. And then hand down, and we'll switch sides. So that right foot steps back, left foot comes forward. I've already just stepped it outside. Turn the foot out 45 degrees. Right hand comes down. So again, this arm slides down the back. And as I do that, I begin to twist open. And I'll do that here. So I'll show you what happens when my shoulder comes up towards my ear. I sort of start to collapse in this joint. And I slide that arm down so there's more space. And then there's more space in the twist. And then lean back a little bit. Soften through the hips. Good. Take another full breath. And then hand down. And let's come up to stand. So wiggle that left foot in between your hands. Right knee up. Right foot forward, fold forward. And then inhale, come all the way up to stand. Good. Standing nice and tall at the top of your mat. Let's first actually just do a warrior one. So nice and simple. Step that left leg back. Bend the right knee. Lengthen the tailbone down, arms up. Relax the shoulders. So just having a nice symmetrical or it's asymmetrical pose, but no twisting through the spine. Soften the shoulders. And find that back leg. So oftentimes we forget about our back leg and in these standing poses. So really press into the left heel. Good. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. And we're going to go into pyramid pose. Lift the low belly. Exhale, fold forward. You may either keep your arms overhead or bring them to your low back. And then fold forward. Drop your chin here. Good. Really draw that right hip back in space. Good. Inhale, come up. One more pose here. So I'm going to hop the back foot in a little bit. It helps to have a bit more stability in the legs. Lift your chest. As you do this, really press into the right big toe. So you feel that right hip move back in space. So you want to keep the hips level here as much as possible. What happens when we often twist in triangle, we start to compensate. We lift one hip, lower one hip. So we start to compensate through the hips to get more space through the spine. So really lengthen the chest here. Bring your right hand to your low back and notice how the level of your pelvis. And then from there, begin to twist that right shoulder open. So I'm moving away from you. So oftentimes what happens is we drop that left side of the hips, lift the right side up, keep them level, and then if you want, take the arm up. So really hug the inner thighs towards each other here. Shoulders slide down your back. And breathe. 2 more breaths. Good, and then hand down. Step the back foot forward. Fold forward for a breath. Good, and then bend your knees and roll up. Good, when you come to stand, just take a moment there in the standing. You may close your eyes and just notice the difference between the two sides. How does that right side feel compared to the left? Open your eyes, step the right leg back. So find your warrior one, bend that front knee, arms up. So here we're just finding that stability through the pelvis. So we can start to angle this left hip moving back, right hip moving forward, and then lifting up out of your pelvis. So you're not dumping into your belly here, into your low back, but you're drawing up and creating more space into the spine. Soften the shoulders. Good. Take another full breath. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. And you're just going to reach out. So I'm going to bring my hand to my left hip. So as I fold forward, this left hip moves back in space. And that begins to allow the alignment for the hips to happen. And then you come all the way down. So press back into that right foot. Press into the ball of the left big toe. So here, again, what tends to happen is that left hip is either pushing forward, right hip back, or we find the other where we're just collapsing through that right hip. So try to find the stability, the balance in the back of the pelvis. Good. Take one more breath. And now we're going to come into that twist. So step the back foot in just a couple of inches, like 2 or 3, and really lengthen up out of your pelvis. So come up onto your fingertips. Again, this left hip moves back in space. So I think on this camera, as you see how my left hip is in line with the shoulder, it's not coming forward. So what I'm doing as this hip comes back, I'm creating more space through the side body so that I can twist. And so that you can twist. So you may just need to keep your hand there to keep cueing that hip to move back. And you'll notice you may get more of a lateral hamstring stretch there. And then the arm comes up. And this arm slides down your back. Squeeze the inner thighs together. That's where the stability comes from. And you're just drawing that hip back in space. Good, and then hand down. Good. Step your back foot forward and come to lay down on your back. So I hope that helps you cue into your hips a little bit more and where the twist needs to happen. We're going to come down onto our backs and do a quick bridge pose just to bring equilibrium back to the spine. So lay down. Just one bridge. Just lift your hips. The tailbone moves towards your knees. And just take another breath. And then rolling down, knees into your chest. So feel free to take the Shavasana if you want, legs straight out, palms up. Or sometimes when it's a 15-minute practice, we don't necessarily need to do Shavasana, so you can roll to your side, come up to sit. But it's still good, it's still nice just to end the class in a way, or end your practice in a way that just sort of seals in the information. Just take a moment to sit if you're ending with me, and bring your hands to prayer. Find your breath. And find your center in your breath. Soften the shoulders. And just take a moment to think of one thing that you're grateful for. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.